Greetings folks, I'm on a roll lately. Playing games I'm gonna be terrible at, but here we go. Have you ever got filtered by your need to craft a weapon? Or reinforce that tiny barricade that is your only lifeline against a horde of shambling corpses barging at your door? I quite did. I chose the barricade, then I had to reroll anyway because whoops, I ran out of food. Unlucky. Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days is a tactical, and I stress the word tactical, zombie survival game where we take the group of a couple of survivors and we have to roam a city in a lockdown after a zombie apocalypse. The twist is that all of this happens in the 1980s. We will need to be constantly on the move, with our shelter in need of repairs constantly. Also, our survivors needs to put food on the table, beds to rest, and ping-pong tables to retrieve their zombie-induced depression. And well, our weapons are so brittle they break after a few kills. All clear? Perfect. Every pair of survivor comes with different benefits and negatives, and they are quite important. However, if you are stubborn like me, you'll go with the cowboy because I like to feel manly in the zombie apocalypse. Plus, this is Texas we are in, so why not? Through the day, we are limited with our actions, and it's gonna take a while before we can recruit more survivors or get enough resources to grow comfortable enough to ramp up our weapon production. We are meant to rotate our survivors, paying attention to their energy level, stress levels, and hunger. As only one survivor can take place for every scavenge mission, the other one will be stuck at home, either recovering or, more importantly, cooking. Repairing the barricade, which also will take damage every single night, is essential as well. However, additional survivors means more mouth to feed, so I really hope you upgraded that kitchen. A family of 4 can't survive just on Happy Meals, and the McChicken is a luxury good in the apocalypse. The goal of this game is not just to survive, but also to get out of the city through an escape plan, which is gonna be your main quest and will happen on its own since we need to scavenge. You will examine clues scattered through several levels and figure out how you want to get out of the city. However, several problems stands in your way. Your bag space is limited. You have to choose what to pick and what to leave on the ground, knowing well you might not afford to come back in the same location, as resource management will cause you to think carefully how you spend them. Certain facilities, which luckily they are taken with you after you change your hideout, will help you a great deal. You cannot cook without a kitchen, you cannot recover morale without a recreational room, so you need one, and a dismantle station will help greatly in scrapping down all those useless stuff you brought back. And well, upgrading your medical station, which is not necessarily immediately, is gonna become a pressing matter for more complicated conditions that cannot be healed just with bandages. Ideally, however, you want to avoid getting damaged, and reloading your save file, and even sometimes outright avoiding fights, will be a boon to your overall success. After all, some fights aren't really worth it. Another factor meant to complicate your life is the presence of other humans, which most of the time won't be outright hostile, but they are gonna be very pissed about your presence and will ask kindly to take a hike. This is, however, a problem because sometimes they will prevent you to get certain resources. This is when you kill them. However, doing so will net you a fat debuff that is annoying and needs to be recovered with some playtime in the party room. Is it worth it? It's up to you, and you need to balance out your situation. Some characters have better morale management. Naturally, you should turn them into serial killers. There is no cannibalism yet, but it would be kinda cool if you think about it. To further complicate your life is the existence of locked doors. Unfortunately, carrying a bolt cutter or a lockpick will take a space slot, and in most cases you will need to craft the item as well. Using those, however, will generally grant you access to loot in generous quantities. However, too many times I realized that it's not worth the hassle to carrying both when my bag is super small, and maybe you won't even need one. Or worse, you carry one and then you find one in the place you went in. This is clearly metagame knowledge for someone already experienced with the locations, that will range from warehouses, pubs, 80s laser tag shows, and different type of houses, all in a fashionable horizontal layout. I need to speak about this. The world is beautiful, and I really like the attention to the detail that was given for the locations. It will take a little bit of time to get used to the controls, which can be weird when you need to climb a ladder from an odd angle. However, overall, it was a good experience. I like the atmosphere. More importantly, this game delivered a sort of gameplay familiar to this war of mine. If you have played that game, I didn't, but one of my friends that suggested this game compared this game to it. So, if it's wrong, I take no responsibility. Okay, whatever, Pasta. How hard is this game? Well, it probably depends on your intelligence and management skills. The game will throw you some curveballs when you don't expect it, not giving spoilers, however. I struggled, had to reload several times, and while I play this review, I'm still in my current playthrough. As you progress, the number of undead becomes larger, and the threat level increases. You go from a motel with 5 zombies to a fireplace with more than 10, and you might think of, that's nothing. Well, you forgot the part that I said. Weapons break a lot, you will find some in the runs, but it's usually never enough to carry you through. And you want to craft the higher quality versions. However, to do so, it's quite a resource sink, so upgrade those facilities. Also, craft is not immediate, so it counts as downtime, so good luck. Is Into the Dead Our Darkest Days a good game? It's currently in early access. I did the recordings a patch ago and only got to edit recently, so this is not the latest version. And in this patch note I read that they buffed the durability of weapons and removed the durability cost for grounded executions. You know, when you bash the damn zombie so hard you need to split his head open. This comes at the expense of weapon rarity, so they drop less frequently. I wish I had played with this update out, but I'm not gonna reroll and see how it goes with these changes. More importantly, is that despite this game still in a very early state, the roadmap is very interesting, promising factions, military activities in the city, and additional elements like dogs companions. So yes, if you want to support the game or you're curious about the future, you can wishlist it and check back in a year. Is this a good horror game? No, this barely has any horror elements, at least by my standards. I was never to the point of uninstalling Mother Hub because I got jump scared 5 seconds into the game. But that is on me. I should never play horror games at night, in the dark, almost naked, during a heavy rain. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more reviews, and I don't know, whatever crosses my gaming adult mind. Have a good one, see you!